my channel. This is going to be a look at what the next 72 hours has in store for you. Of course, any information that you may be looking for, I will have listed in the description, or I'll try to put it in the comment section as well for you guys if you want to follow me on other social medias, or if you do want to book a personal reading with me. And let's go ahead and get straight into the forecast. Oh, and if you're not subscribed already, make sure that you do if you want to see future readings that resonate with you. All right, so overall energy, we have the Judgment, the Star card, and also the Knight of Wands. So there's realizations that you could be having during this time frame about yourself, about people around you, but also in terms of just your personal path, okay? There could be things that you're also realizing that within, let's say, another person around you that they just refuse to work on within themselves. And this could be quite draining, especially if you have assumed the responsibility or the risk of taking on the relationship, but feeling like maybe the person you're dealing with, they haven't gotten to a place of being motivated enough to kind of work through their issues. And this could be something that's just a little bit disheartening for you, or just could be throwing things off. It also talks about you having realizations that you just want to wholeheartedly pour into your goals, your dreams. Maybe you've been just kind of thrown off and losing a sense of faith for being able to make these things a reality, and just being a little bit burnt out, or feeling a little bit burnt out in terms of energy and feeling like you've been spinning your wheels. And I think that this time frame is going to show you where you gotta be mindful in terms of where you rest your energy at, or where you put your focal point at, because you can feel misaligned, or you can feel unmotivated, or feel like you're not really making progress in things if you, let's say, give your attention to really bad friends or really bad romantic interest, and you're trying to fix them and try to get them to see their potential while robbing yourself of that light and that shine that you could pour into yourself. So some of you, I'm not gonna lie, you could have felt drained because you could have had a situation that may have felt this way. For others of you, you could be realizing that there's people around you who really just don't have that optimism and that ability to support. Even if they don't understand exactly what you're trying to do, you may be better off just kind of keeping your goals and your aspirations to yourself, instead of telling it to people who could just shit on them, or just have their impression of what they think you can and cannot do. Now, going into what I see for just the overall advice for the next 72 hours, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. We have the Five of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and also the Knight of Pentacles. So the advice for this time frame, watch the company you keep, of course, but also when it comes to stretching yourself thin, you need to be mindful of this. You are not Superwoman, Superman, and some of you are literally expecting yourself to be able to do 10 million things at once and be able to keep some sort of routine or balance or groundedness. So the advice is to be mindful of not stretching yourself thin and trying to do too much and be a master of all things. Or excuse me, what is that saying? I don't know how the saying goes. I put it in the comments. Something, it's a jack of all trades, a master of none, or something like that, where you're basically doing like multiple creative things at once, but not being able to see it through because of the fact that there's so many things that you're focusing on one. Or if you're working on a home project, having so many different things that you're working on simultaneously that you're not getting anything done. So just being mindful of that. Another piece of advice is to keep going for my Geminis who are trying to get a new job and maybe things have felt a little bit slow within that process. Keep going. Keep that momentum going and understand that you're only looking to secure one. So that opportunity could happen at any moment. You just need to stay ready for when it does happen. And for any of my Geminis who are working on like a new business or a new stream of income, not rushing to the point to where you just want to see the profits. Okay, you could have an opportunity to really build a strong business if you take your time and you're not focusing on how much money you can make within that first month per se, but how you can optimize your business to be successful. Also, if you have a lot of conflict or challenges within an existing business partnership or with an existing job, having an exit plan that you slowly act on is what's going to really benefit you. Now, going into what I see with the possible challenges you may have to face during this time frame, Geminis, what does the next 72 hours look like in terms of challenges? Okay, so I have the Page of Swords in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and the Emperor. So this could be bad family gossip or information that you could hear about a certain family member that's a bit of a turnoff, or it could be hurtful in terms of what you hear, or just maybe not the most positive news, if not those things. For others of you, this could be the person you may have children with, their family members having things to say, or them being petty. This could be, someone you're dealing with romantically and their co-parenting relationship is a bit of a mess in terms of the communication between them two. So now it's starting to put a strain on the relationship between you guys. The other challenge could be like bad communication in a relationship. There could be certain things that you want to say or you want to express, or your person may want to express, and you guys may not be either on speaking terms or just not able to communicate clearly and also get understanding. There could be questions left unanswered. There could be things that, your person could be suspicious of, or you could even be suspicious of. So these are just things to overcome. Some of you, you're in the process of finding a new home or finding a new place. And the challenging part is maybe not liking the places that you're finding on search, or just feeling like financially it just doesn't make sense to move in some of the places that you've seen. Now, let's go into love specifically. What does love look like for the next 72 hours for Geminis? So we have the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and also the High Priestess. So Geminis, with your love life, I'm going to start with the single Geminis. Some of you could be deciding to just leave dating to the side and focus on money, especially if you want to secure certain things for yourself financially. Dating may not be on the radar at the moment. For other single Geminis, there could be abandonment issues that you're kind of working through, whether that's like maybe you're dating somebody or talking to somebody and they could have just up and ghosted. Or some of you may have up and ghosted a situation and you could be questioning, was I right to do that? Or was that a smart decision? Or did we potentially have something there? For others of you, it's more so an issue, like for my single Geminis, it's more so an issue of feeling like you could trust people. You could be, getting to know certain individuals, but feeling like, I feel like your intentions may be rooted in more so what you want to get out of the situation, not necessarily long-term value. Now, for my Geminis in a relationship, you could be feeling like maybe you just want to spice things up within the dynamic. Maybe you guys have had like breakup to makeup or arguments that have happened recently to where it's been really hard to just get back on track in terms of communication and whatnot, because there is a concern around whether or not they will up and leave again, or whatever caused you guys to separate, whether or not that issue will repeat. Yeah, some of you are also just thinking about whether or not you're being valued within your relationship during the next 72 hours. You could be paying attention to your person's movements and just trying to understand, like, okay, does this person value me? Does this person, see me as like a, as an option? What's going on here? Now, going into what I see with career and finance, let's look at that. We have the Five of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and also the Four of Pentacles. So with career and finance, yeah, there could have been things that you wanted to get done a lot sooner, and maybe time wasn't on your side in the past because things were more of a focal point. But I think that the next 72 hours could give you a glimpse in regards to like being able to manage acting on these things, or actually balancing multiple areas within your career. Because some of you, I do see you have a 9 to 5 and a business that you want to pursue. or a 9 to 5 and something creative that you want to pursue and make money from it. Or just multiple streams of income that you would like to have for yourself. And maybe you felt like time wise, there was just things that you had to focus on in the past. And the next 72 hours, you could just be looking at how can I branch myself out? Some of you are actually going back and forth on whether or not you could stay at either the career that you're in or at the job that you're at. Especially if you do feel like it's limiting to some degree and there was something that you wanted to do prior to this that maybe you regret not pursuing or wondering if you missed out. Now, what are my Geminis going to learn for the next 72 hours, just as a whole? So I have the Knight of Swords in reverse, the Chariot, and also the Six of Cups in reverse. So what you're going to learn during this time frame is to not act on what you think at that split second. Take a moment to step back, especially in heated moments. Okay, there could be moments during this time frame where, you know, certain things could be said out of the heat of the moment by someone else, and you may have to refrain yourself from acting on, you know, responding the same way that they are to you. Or this could be just not acting on how you feel, period, where you could have just uncomfortable feelings or frustrated feelings, and this could make you, you know, cuss somebody out or cut somebody off. So this month, or not this month, this next 72 hours is going to teach you to not necessarily feed into these impulses. Also, to not feed into the past or a person who you may have children with who could have resentment towards you or just may not be able to let go of the challenges you guys experienced beforehand, and they don't really see an opportunity or silver lining. You could be realizing that there's really nothing that you can do in that circumstance when they won't let go of the past. And this may not even be a family situation. This could be a romantic situation where someone is just not willing to move forward at all. There's still hurt feelings. And some of you may realize that it's just best to give this person the space to grow from that. Or that you may need to give yourself the space to grow if you do feel like someone has wronged you and they just can't make up for it. There's nothing that they could say, do, none of that. But this is what I see. I do wish you the best of luck. If this was helpful, definitely feel free to thumb up the video and subscribe. I'm mixing words together. And thank you so much for your support. Thank you, guys.